Welcome, everyone. This is Andy with American English. Learn English in context. So, what's a phrasal verb? Well, think of it as a short phrase of two or more words that are put together, but the meaning is different than their original words. So, think of them almost like idioms, and phrasal verbs are usually made up of a verb, an adverb, and/or a preposition. For example, get in. Now, normally the word get means to obtain or to receive, but it changes when we use it with in. So, I am getting in the car means to enter into or go into the car. So, let's look at one more example. So, he is getting in his car means he is entering, he is going inside of it. And we also need to remember that when we use phrasal verbs, they can always be used in past, present, or the future. For instance, he got in his car. That's in the past. Now or present, he is getting in his car. And then future, he is going to get in his car. Now, let's look at some examples in context. So imagine I went to a party last night and I did not come back to my house until late, say 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Um, the next day I might say, I got in late last night because I was out with friends. Okay, so I got in this case is like I arrived to, I entered into, I came back to my home, to my apartment, to the place I live. Example number 2, he couldn't get in his apartment because he forgot his key. So he wasn't able to enter into his apartment because he forgot his key. And couldn't get in. The reason we use get in is we use couldn't, so it basically makes it past there. Example number 3, she got in a really good business program at her school. Means she was allowed in, she was let in, she is going to be in it now. And number 4, he got in trouble at school. That means he basically created a problem, somebody found out about it, and now he is in trouble. So he had a problem at school. He created a bad problem at school. Now, let's look at get up. So get up can be used in several different ways, but two of the most common meanings are to rise up, climb, or move up. And then the second is to wake up and get out of bed. So let's look at these in context. Okay, first example here in present. So they are getting up from their chairs. They are moving themselves vertically and away from their chairs. They're getting up from their chairs. Example 2. He is helping her get up. She is moving vertically up. He is helping her get up. Example number 3, we use a lot when somebody gets out of bed after they wake up. So in this case, he is getting up. He is getting up. And of course, you can use get up in question format. And one of the most common, almost everyday questions people get is, what time did you get up today? Which means, what time did you wake up and get out of your bed or leave your bed? So what time did you get up today? And then you would answer, I got up at 7 o'clock. Like many of the phrasal verbs, get along can have different meanings, but probably the main meaning is to have a good relationship with another person or persons, meaning that you don't fight, you don't have problems. So, examples. I get along with my coworkers, okay? You don't have fights, you generally have good relationships with them. My children get along well, okay? Again, they don't fight. They, for the most part, their behavior towards each other is positive. I try to get along with everyone. You're making that effort to make sure that your relationships with others are healthy, sincere, and good. So the phrasal verb get around. We have two meanings that we're going to focus on today, even though there are more meanings and more ways to use this. But the first is to move or travel from one location to another location or locations. And then the second meaning we're going to focus on is the movement of information as it becomes more known. All right, let's do an example of get around. And remember, this is to move from one place to another place. Okay, so the example is that town is so small you can easily get around by walking. So basically, the translation or the meaning of this sentence is that town is so small you can easily go from place to place by walking. Means you don't need to take a taxi, you don't need to take a car. All right, let's do one more. So she gets around by bus because she doesn't have a car. So this means that she travels around, most likely in her own city, in her own town. So she travels around from place to place by bus because she does not have a car. Okay, our next meaning, the movement of information as it becomes more known. Now, this could almost be characterized by news that is traveling. So in this case, the example is the news about the murder is getting around, meaning the news about this murder that was committed is getting passed around, perhaps through news, perhaps through word of mouth, social media, etc., etc. Okay, let's do one more example. The story about the wild party is getting around. Perhaps there was a big party, some crazy stuff happened. Now everybody is telling each other about it, so more people know about it. Now, get out generally means to exit, to leave, to escape. Those are probably the most common ones. And again, I said in general. So let's look at a couple examples here. She is getting out of her car, meaning she is exiting, she is leaving her car. She is getting out of work early, means that she is leaving work, she is exiting her place of business early, before she usually goes. And our last example, she is getting out some tomatoes for dinner. She is getting out some tomatoes for dinner. Means she's removing, she's pulling them out of the refrigerator. Guys and girls, one real quick piece of advice here. Phrasal verbs are very important, and they're going to separate you from a good speaker, but if you know them, you're going to be a great speaker. So make sure to practice them. We will have future videos on more phrasal verbs, hopefully in the next few weeks. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you liked what we did today, please like and subscribe, and we hope to see you in future videos. Take care, and remember, follow your dreams.